Hignet's corner, beyond Bent. Janssen! And Blackburn Rovers are 18 minutes away from a Premiership return.
As far as Stewart, just outside the penalty area, clips it central for David Dunn. David Dunn equalises! It just had to be. Dack's corner and it goes. Glance towards goal, and Rovers have taken the lead. And Charlie Mulgrew has scored his 14th of the season. It may well be the goal that sends Rovers back into the Championship.
Good evening, Rovers fans, and welcome to another live edition of On the Other Side, live with me, Ryan Hildred, from Rovers Chat. Rovers finally got our win, our first win in 8, with a superb battling performance away at Millwall on Saturday, and we loved it on Saturday on the watch-along and everything like that. But we're back in league action again really quickly, this time tomorrow night at home in the rearranged game to promotion-chasing Swansea City. And I'll just do my first reminder of the evening tonight. It is a 6 p.m. kickoff. 6 p.m. kickoff. Everyone remember it. 6 p.m. kickoff. There's my first reminder of the evening. But, of course, I am delighted to be joined once again by Rhys from the SwansAwayDays YouTube channel, here for his hat-trick appearance on the other side. How are you doing, Rhys?
Yeah, thanks for having me on again. Looking forward to it. And hopefully this game's actually on.
I know it was a bit of a washout last time, wasn't it? So yeah, hopefully we can get it on and enjoy it. Just a few things, Rovers fans. If you are subscribed to our YouTube channel, please hit that bell symbol to turn on all notifications so that you can see when all of our video content is live. That includes on Thursday a podcast that Andy Watson has recorded with Mike Sheeran from the Academy today. So that one will be coming out on Thursday. Hit that bell notification so that you can see when that lands. And please, of course, give this video a like and all of our videos a like across the Rovers Chat channel. As we always do, we've got Super Chat available again this evening for if you did want to support the channel in that way. And I'll just show the fans wall from over the weekend. A hell of a lot of you. Daniel, Kenneth, M. Outlaw, Dave, Lee, Michael, Dan, Matthew, Rick, Ollie, and Dal for Juice. Very kind contributions across all of our content from the last game against Millwall. So we're really appreciative of everyone's really kind support on the channel. As we always say, though, no one's under any pressure, and I'll run through your selection of comments throughout our shows over the next couple of days. But just a couple of further reminders. We are sponsored by Blue Rose Capital, and we are sponsored by 𝐒𝐎𝐍𝐒𝐿𝐿.com. The Rovers Chat YouTube channel is proudly sponsored by 𝐒𝐎𝐍𝐿𝐿.com. They've got retro football from every era with mugs, phone cases and much more. They also have plenty of Rovers goods, including apparel with the famous 94-95 season and this season's kit. Check them out using the link in the description below. Thank you to Blue Rose Capital and to 𝐒𝐎𝐍𝐿𝐿.com for their very kind sponsorship this season. So, Rhys, before we get stuck into this game, I just have to ask you about that video. We were just chatting about it before we came live. The two shows that you've come on with me, you've just come across as a really nice bloke and someone who wouldn't do what you did with Kasey Palmer. But when I saw you trending across Twitter and seeing Kasey Palmer retweet you and shouting at Freddie Woodman, I must admit, I loved it. Absolutely loved it, Rhys. So how's it been since you went viral?
The only downside is he didn't shout at the channel. Should I copyrighted him? I should have. Should have got it taken down. No, it's all laugh and games at the end of the day. You know, I do it for a bit of fun. I just try doing the watch along so that people who can't watch the games, trying my best, interact with the chat like what you guys do in Rovers Chat. At the end of the day, it's a bit of fun and it gets people more interacted. And I didn't really mind it. It's just annoying. Out of all the goals for Kasey Palmer to go against us, it had to be from a corner. Go straight in. At the end of the day, I'm glad Kasey Palmer liked it. I'm glad I didn't say anything too bad about Bristol City especially. But yeah, especially when I was celebrating him giving away a penalty. I thought, he liked the Swans, and then 20 minutes later, he scores from a corner. Mixed them.
I don't mind admitting to you, Rhys, we've done a few impressions of you shouting at Freddie Woodman as well. That one is the particularly good one across that video.
I regret that because I actually like Freddie Woodman, but it's just, when you're in the 90th minute, you're trying to get a goal and keep making a mistake, you you just lose all emotions.
Oh, brilliant! Do you know what, Rhys? I love it. You've taken it all in good stead, and to get Casey Palmer noticing it as well, you are officially a Swansea legend, I guess. So
don't forget Gnarty Wells as well. Can't forget Gnarty.
So good on you, mate. Good on you. I think it's great banter. But all joking aside, let's kick off with the match preview. Swansea continue to have a really good season. Rhys, you're third in the table, just the 1 point off Watford in second. And this game tomorrow is the first of two that I saw that you've got in hand on Watford. Yeah. And when we've spoken the other two times this season, you did mention the surprise at how well the season has gone, but you're now up there. Is the only aim now automatic promotion in that second spot?
I think we've got to go for automatic promotion, to be honest, especially after the heartbreak of playoff semi-final defeat last year. I think we're in a great position to get automatics. I don't see why we can't see in our hands. Like you said, we got a game tomorrow against Blackburn and Sheffield Wednesday as well, which hasn't been rearranged. We got that game in hand. But the main thing for Swansea is that this is the last game we have in hand over Brentford. So we're currently 2 points above them. If we can get a win tomorrow, it'll be 5 points. And, the championship's a crazy league. We're not going to win every game until now at the end of the season. We're going to lose a few and we're going to win a few. I'm sure Blackburn will win a few and lose a few as well. So it's going to be an important game. Like you just said, I think we've got to go for my promotion at the minute. We just got to keep winning games. We've seen in the last couple of weeks a few defeats, a few really poor performances, and we've been able to win, and now we've won 2 in a bounce. A little bit lucky, some people would say, especially with some of the decisions we've been getting. But you get the right luck. Sometimes it goes for you, but I think over the whole of the season, it's kind of evens itself out.
Yeah, it does. And I think now you're up there. It's the beginning of March. It's the business end of the season. You've absolutely got to go for it now, haven't you? So, why not, even though it has been a nice surprise for you this season. Yeah. And as an outsider looking in at Swansea this season, Rhys, and I said this to you on the previous 2 shows as well, you just strike me as a side that usually gets the job done. There's usually no dramas from what I can see. Lots of 1-0, 2-1, 2-0 wins for you this season. And the teams who are consistent in the Championship are usually the ones right up there. So have you been impressed with that side of Swansea this season? And if so, what's changed between last season and this, for example?
A lot has changed since this season and last season. I'd say last season we were a bit too easy, not getting in the referee's face, not really giving outside of the game. This season, we've been a lot more physical, grinding out results. Sometimes the football's not pretty. Sometimes you associate Swansea with nice free-flowing football. We have seen it at times, but we can also change the game, grind out results. Barnsley away, for example, wasn't a great performance, but we got the 2-0 win, grinded it out. And at the end of the day, our defence is... We've got the best joint defence in the league with Watford goals conceded wise. And, we can do that. If we can get an early goal, grind out the game, and we're very confident at the back. And, that's one thing we were lacking last season. Every time we give away a corner, it looked like we were going to concede. We've just looked really, really stronger defensively. Up front, we've not been as good as we were last year, scoring goals when we had Rhian Brewster, for example. We are missing that out-and-out number 9. But when we've got a great defence like we have, we don't really need one, as we can score from a set piece or a free kick, especially when we got the likes of Conor Hourihane, who's one of the best dead ball specialists in the league.
Yeah, and I was just looking at some of your stats. I've not got it in the table tonight, but it paints a really interesting picture about Swansea, actually. So going forward, they're not really earth-shattering stats. You're 8th overall in the number of goals with 43, 18th for shots per game at 10.2, and then 12th for the average possession at 49.5. So, they're not amazing stats going forward, but in defence, it's a completely different story. 17 clean sheets in 33 games. So that's better than 1 clean sheet every other game. And you've also conceded the joint least in the Championship, as you just said there, with the 24. And the 14 that you've conceded away from home is second best in the Division 2. So is it fair to say that your success this season is built on that solid backline?
Oh, 100% spot on there. Like you just said, that back line is one of the best in the league, especially the formations we play. And, the wing backs get so far up the pitch, they basically act as 2 wingers. So then we've got 2 strikers, 2 wingers. And, defensively, even when the 3 centre-backs, if they're exposed, I'm really comfortable with those. Defending set pieces, don't want to jinx and touch wood, but we've been pretty solid this season at defending set pieces. So, yeah, we're more of a defensive team at the moment, counter-attacking. But, when a team actually comes forward and attacks us, what we've seen against Middlesbrough, they attacked us for all the second half and they didn't score until the 91st minute. So it just shows how well we are defensively, even when the pressure is on us.
Yeah, and if we look at your top performers then, just across that, I've got a graphic for this one. Top goal scorer is the man Andre, who I know you're going to want to talk about. He loves the goal against Rovers, and he scored 2 pressure penalties in the last gasp wins against Stoke and Middlesbrough. 31 years old. So how critical is it to have a man of his experience, particularly internationally as well, in that run-in for Swansea? You wouldn't want anyone else on those penalties, would you?
No, definitely not. The way he goes up to a penalty, it's very, very concerning. He stops, starts, then shoots. So our goalkeeper, I think it was Ben Hamer, who actually is our reserve goalkeeper now. He actually faced a penalty against Andre, and he did say in an interview, Andre was the worst penalty taker he's ever come up against, because the way he runs up to a penalty, it's impossible for a goalkeeper to know where he's going. So, a man of his experience, captain of Ghana, 31 years of age, Premier League experience, League and experience with Marseille, it's absolutely vital. And he's not really been getting too many open play goals in the last couple of weeks, but, what he contributes defensively from set pieces, the amount of headers he wins from defensive set pieces is incredible. And yes, he's not got too many open play goals, but when he does get a goal from open play, it's always a good one. And like we just said, 4 penalties this season, 4 goals from every single one. I think he's had 9 in total for the Swansea Championship, all 9 goals scored as well. So he's a very, very great player to have at this level.
Yeah, and he just seems to have found his home at Swansea, hasn't he? Because I think he was probably just a bit, between clubs and maybe hadn't found a real club where he found his level or found his niche. But at Swansea, I think he seems to have found that, hasn't he? Yeah,
100%. I think he likes it. Obviously, when we got relegated, he had a loan spell out in Turkey. And then when obviously that loan spell finished, we all thought, he's going to leave like most of the foreign players did when we got relegated. But no, he's decided to stay. Obviously, he's on very, very high wages, which isn't very good for the club. But considering got a lot of high earners gone, the majority of earners now at the club are pretty small compared to his wages. So I think we can accommodate that. And yeah, he has found his home. If we don't go up, then there's a 99.9% chance he's not going to be here next season, which will be a blow. But, we've had 2 seasons of Andre in the Championship. He scored over 50 goals for us in the Premier League. And it is pretty mental considering he's a £20 million signing in the Championship. And he didn't score a goal in the Premier when we signed him for that amount of money. But yeah, it will be sad when he is to go potentially next season. But hopefully he can get promoted and hopefully a few more goals against Blackburn like he likes to do.
Yeah, he loves a goal against us, that's for sure. So if I just bring this back up, and if we just look across the assists, and Jake Bidwell up there as your top assist maker in the side, really surprised me when you think of, the likes of Matt Grimes for competition, and then Connor Roberts second with 5, and both of these are wing backs in your current system. So what do these 2 bring to your side? Are they getting good crosses in? Are they driving forward in those areas? These stats are suggesting that they're really critical to your attacking play. And obviously, we just spoke about how good your defence is as well. So these 2 seem really important for your side.
Yeah, really, really strong. Most of it. Well, Bidwell's been rotated the last couple of weeks, but Rob's especially, he's been playing 99 minutes in and out. The amount of athleticism he has is incredible. They can score goals as well. Roberts and Bidwell aren't shy of scoring goals. They've both scored, I think, 6 combined this season. I'm not too sure on that. 3 each, maybe. But, they also get in the box very well. Roberts against Stoke last week, we scored in the 6-yard box or a right wing back in the 19th minute. So it's unheard of, really. But they get so far up the pitch, and even if they do lose the ball, they track back so quickly. So, the wing backs really are influential to our play. And like you said, the 7 assists for Bidwell, 5 for Roberts. They get a lot of crosses in the box, some headers from corners. So, they've really good all-round players. They can get goals, assists, and they also can contribute from set pieces as well. And Roberts takes corners sometimes. So he's had a few good corners this season, and that's a few of his assists.
Yeah, and just sticking with this one, Rhys. Ben Cabango, I didn't realise how young he was, actually. But just talk to us about him, because, again, for you to have such a good defensive record, and is he 20 years old, is he?
Yeah, 20.
20-year-old centre-back. Talk to us about him, because we've got 2 young lads on loan at the moment from the Premier League who we're kind of thinking, are they really going to come down into the Championship and boss it? Maybe they could, maybe they won't. Cabango's 20 years old and part of one of the best defences in the Championship. So talk to us about what he brings.
It's pretty mental how he's 20. I sometimes forget. I sometimes think I look at him and he's like a 26. No, he's 20. It's absolutely incredible. You know, for a 20-year-old, he's had so much experience. He's had Wales international caps. He's played in the Champions League with the new Saints, a Welsh Premier League side, if anyone doesn't know. Yeah, he's really, really good. The amount of headers he won against Middlesbrough was absolutely mental. I think it was over 15 headers won aerially when they got some very tall players like Yannick Bolasie. Very, very good play. You know, when you see him on the ball, quite composed. He does kind of kick it long sometimes. But, you know, he's an old-fashioned centre-half, and, you know, 4 goals, our third top scorer this season, trying to for centre-half. Very, very impressive. And when you see the other centre-halves like Ryan Bennett, Mark 𝐂𝐻𝐻𝐒, Kyle Norton, all of them are on 0 goals this season. You got Cabango on 4. It really shows how good he is in the air. And like I said, the amount of headers he won on the weekend against Middlesbrough defensively was superb. So he's a very, very outstanding young talent. And I can't see us keeping him for too much longer, similar with Joe Rodon, really. But however he's that long for the club, you know, I'm going to enjoy him because he's been really, really good again this season.
Yeah, and scored against Rovers, of course, didn't he, at the Liberty Stadium? So he's one that we're going to have to watch for certain. So if we look at your recent form then, Rhys, I've got this split into 2. So I think this is the first one that I want. So before the postponed game, this was the general form you were in the Championship at that point. You had 4 wins in 5 at that point, and I was really fearing the game somewhat. The last 5 games, though, if I just bring up the other one, you have had a couple of losses in there. So you've got obviously 3 wins in the 5 games and 2 losses. So are you still playing as well as you were maybe a month or so ago? And, you know, what's happened in those 2 games lost in particular?
We're playing quite similar to where we were last time we were about to play you in the last 5 games. I just think teams have kind of know how we're going to set up, and you know they've been, you know, they're just attacking us, which means we're playing 5 instead of the 3-5-2. So it's a little bit frustrating. I think teams are starting to find us out, but we have seen Cooper has changed up a little bit by not playing 2 up front. He's gone for more of a midfield 4 with 𝐒𝐎𝐍𝐻𝐻 occupying as the attacking mid and the 3 central midfielders. So yeah, it's a little bit concerning, especially if you look at the last 2 results. I think the majority of people watching this right now will realise that Stoke penalty was never a penalty, and you know Middlesbrough had a disallowed goal which should have been allowed on the penalty. So if you look at the last 2 results, they probably should have both been draws. And you look at that 1 win in 5. So we're not playing excellently at the moment. But, you know, I look there, you know, I think there's only 1 open play goal, 2 open play goals out of the goals we scored there, which isn't that great either. So we have been riding our luck over the last couple of weeks, but, you know, I do think we'll get over it. But I just think after that Man City game, confidence really hurt us, and we were supposed to play Sheffield Wednesday, and then we had another postponement. So we just had a little bit of unluck, really, with the fixtures. But, you know, we've got 2 wins in a row now, hopefully the momentum, both last-minute winners. And I just really hope, you know, we can get an early goal tomorrow and just settle down, because the last couple of games, we've not really got that early goal, and it's really starting to hurt us, especially when teams come out second half and really start attacking us.
Well, if you do get the early goal and do go 1-0 up, that's certainly a recipe for beating Rovers. That has been our Achilles heel this season. And invariably, if we score first, we're largely getting a positive result. If it's the other way around, then we're really struggling to make any kind of impact on the game. So feels like a game where the first goal might be a bit important tomorrow, Rhys, most certainly. So if we then just move on to the game itself a little bit then, Rhys. Swansea's away form this season, pretty decent. 27 points on the road. That's 8 wins, 3 draws, 4 defeats. And that's the 4th best in the division. So in line with where you are really in the league. So what has been your typical approach away from home? How are you beating sides?
Mainly, I'd say sitting back, waiting for them to make a mistake, and we can use the wing backs to get up and get some crosses. And, you know, one big play which has been good for us, not so much recently, but definitely earlier. Apologies for that. Yeah, apologies for that.
There he is, he's back.
Wi-Fi 2
weeks in a row, people are leaving me on the streams. I don't know what's going on.
It's a regular occurrence for me. Don't even worry about that. But as I was saying before, my Wi-Fi just thought no. I forgot. Oh, the wing backs. Yeah, we usually do tend to sit back and use the wing backs to get forward. Another way we tend to get some goals and attack is using that over the top through ball for Jamal Lowe, so that can push the defense back. And you got Andre 𝐒𝐎𝐍𝐻𝐻 who could strike outside the box. So yeah, a lot more defensive than we tended to be just before Christmas. which is a little bit annoying, but as long as we get results, you know, performances don't really matter towards this end of the season. It's all about results. So, yeah, we'll expect a Swansea team to set off a little bit, try to push forward. You know, if we can't get that goal, expect Swansea to sit back and try and counter Blackburn and try and get some set pieces.
So with what you've just said there, Rhys, you know, this is one of those 2 games in hand that you've got. And even with Rovers winning on Saturday, we are just the 1 win in 8. So our confidence is low, and Ewood Park has been a place where teams can go and get points. Could you not see this being a game where Swansea might really go for it, maybe change the approach and try and hit Rovers a little bit? Or is it going to be that sitting back?
Potentially, we could try to do that, but I think Cooper will be wary of Blackburn's threat. You know, you've got some really good attacking players, which, you know, that could kind of hurt Cooper in the way he sets up tomorrow. You know, you've got Bradley Dack, Harvey Elliott, you've got some very good creative players there. So, you know, if we go out for it, we get caught in the midfield, you know, you've got Bradley Dack, who can one of the best midfielders in the Championship. I think Cooper will be wary of his threat, Harvey Elliott's pace. You've got Gallagher, who's a really big aerial threat as well. So it's going to be interesting where he sets up, like you said, that 2 games in hand. I think it does kind of play into Blackburn's advantage. I'd say, no, Swansea definitely need the 3 points. Blackburn, this is no disrespect to you, but you've got literally nothing much on the line. You're not going to go down. You're not going to get playoffs. So, you know, Blackburn's a bit of a free hit for them. They can play with calmness. At the end of the day, if you can frustrate Swansea, the longer the game goes on, the longer we're going to have to push more men forward. And that could really, you know, be your advantage by getting that goal to really kill us off.
Yeah, it's one that if I was Swansea, I'd be just going for Rovers tomorrow. It feels like a bit of a free game for Swansea. You know, just go for it. I would, but I think you're right. I can't see Cooper changing his approach, and why would he with how you've done this season and with the joy that you've had with that type of system. So let's see how you go. So Rhys, before you came live, as we always do on the show, I asked you to send us your predicted 11, and here it is, complete with the wing backs that you spoke about just then with Connor Roberts and Bidwell. So do you want to just talk us through the side, maybe the players that we've not mentioned or you've not spoken about? You know, who are the danger men for Swansea, and, you know, any good options from the bench as well? You know, talk to us about your side.
I'd say that midfield is very, very strong. It's going to be interesting, really, with Conor Hourihane. I know Blackburn fans will be thinking, what's he on about? You know, Hourihane's one of the best. But since Hourihane's actually come into the side, we do look a bit lost in midfield. We don't play as well as we did. You know, he got benched against Stoke, and that Stoke game was one of the best games I've actually seen in a long, long time for Swansea midfield-wise. You know, we bossed the midfield battle. Against Middlesbrough, we bossed the midfield battle because we didn't play with Lowe. So you take a look at that team right now, we've just put Hourihane just behind you, and then we had Corey Smith instead of Hourihane in that midfield 3. So if we do play that midfield 3, which I expect us to do tomorrow, is because of Hourihane's threat from set pieces, you can expect Blackburn to really attack down Hourihane's left-hand side, because he is a little bit, I don't know the word to say it, but he's a little bit exposed. I guess with him and Grimes, because they're both 2 left footers in midfield, and usually have the 2 right footers and 1 left foot. So it is a little bit exposed, but, you know, Hourihane's got great quality. At the back then, obviously, you got 𝐒𝐿𝐄𝐄 20, Cabango 20, and Norton, who's obviously 30 or 31. Norton's been a bit of an unsung hero, really. Was one of the reasons why we scored that second goal with the interception. Obviously, we do have Ryan Bennett fully fit, but I don't think we'll risk him. Obviously, we got another game Saturday, but obviously he's an option. So, you know, you look at that back line, I think Norton's a very good player, very good ball centre half. Cabango was more of a all centre half, and 𝐒𝐿𝐄𝐄 a really, really good ball playing centre half, really strong as well. Had a great game against Man City. 𝐂𝐻𝐒 as the unsung hero, really gets into the game. Expect him to get a yellow card. He does love a yellow card, 𝐂𝐻𝐒. If him or Smith does play tomorrow, expect them to get a yellow. And obviously up front, Jamal Lowe, you know, he's got great pace. Didn't play last game, but I do expect him to come back and fully fit. He is on a bit of a goal drought. I don't think he scored since the 16th of January, Jamal Lowe, which is like 11 or 12 games worth of scoring. So, yeah, if Blackburn do tend to concede against players who don't score a while, then look out for him. And obviously, all you know is Andre, 4 goals in the last 3 games. Before that, he was on a bit of a goal drought. And, you know, Blackburn hate playing Andre, especially when he's on great form. So, obviously, you're going to have to look out for Andre tomorrow.
We've scared us again. If I just dip into the comments, Rhys, Alexander, it won't be easy for Rovers. Chris, that team is quality. 𝐂𝐿𝐄𝐄, what a team. It looks a really solid side, Rhys. It really does. So this question, like when I spoke to Mike, the Watford fan, a week or so ago, if there are any areas of weakness that Rovers can exploit in this side, where is it?
There are actually a few areas if you can take your chances, and, you know, you score a lot of goals, and obviously I don't think Adam Armstrong is fit tomorrow, so that's a blow for you. I'd definitely say the midfield. If you can get towards that left-hand side of the midfield between Grimes and ·𝐻𝐻𝐻, then you can definitely get some luck. That's where Bristol City really, got their goal last week. We were comfortably dominating that game, and it was a ·𝐻𝐻𝐻, a bit of a poor pass back to Grimes, and those two are very similar, way different players to Fulton, because those two are so similar. That's where you can really attack. So if I was Blackburn, Tony Mowbray's manager tomorrow, I'd definitely target that. And I know it sounds really silly, saying ·𝐻𝐻𝐻's one of the weakest parts of the team, but him and Grimes are just way too similar in midfield. But the only reason I got ·𝐻𝐻𝐻 in is just for that set piece quality, which he can really provide to us.
I think with what you've just said there, if we can somehow get Harvey Elliott in that kind of pocket that you were describing, because Elliott does play from out on the right. He's been part of a front three, so a wide right person. If we could maybe just drop him back slightly and into that position you're talking about, maybe he could hurt you in that position.
100%.
Brill. So I'm just going to dip into the questions before we finish off with the final couple. So, Michael, could you remind me why we are kicking off at midday tomorrow? Cooper time. Love it, Michael. Love it, love it. Ollie, Rhys, you've mentioned that our youngster at the back, that your youngster at the back is good in the air. What is your defence like against pace and spotting through balls / defence spitting passes?
Pretty good, Ollie. Pretty good, I gotta say. There's not been too many goals conceded through things. The majority of goals we have conceded have been our mistake or a fluke goal. Casey Palmer, for example, corner. But like that Bristol City goal we played not this Saturday, 2 Saturdays ago, it was a midfield mistake. And if you can, we are prone to the odd mistake through midfield, not so much defensively, but if you can pounce on that mistake and we can really score, then it will hurt us. So, like I was just saying to Ryan, that midfield, it does look a good midfield on paper, but it is prone to a mistake now and again. So, yeah, that at the back, though, we are pretty good to pace aerially, pretty good as well. But, when you got some tall players like Sam Gallagher, it does kind of scare me because, when you got a big target man like that, he's always a threat.
Yeah, he is. And to be fair to Gallagher, he had a good game against Millwall on Saturday as well. So on his day, he can be good. And on Saturday, we saw signs of him just what he did in our relegation season, actually getting the ball and dribbling and driving a bit. That's what I want to see more from Sam Gallagher. So let's see if we can have a bit more of that tomorrow. And then Chris's question here, Rhys, any chance your lads have a tendency to get a red card?
I think we've only had one this season, Chris, and that was Kyle Norton's second yellow. Don't really think we're prone to a red card. We are prone to a late penalty, Chris, thanks to the referee. So we are prone to that. So look out for that tomorrow. But no, we don't really seem to get red cards, touch wood. But yeah, don't think we'll get a red, hopefully.
Excellent. And then just a few more comments before we go into the predictions. So Rovers fans, it's now your time to start lumping in your predictions into that comments box for us, and I will pick them up in a moment. Alexander, especially worried about 𝐻𝐻𝐻 and 𝐂𝐻𝐻𝐻 and also Jamal Lowe as well. So Alexander, very, very worried there. And then Brandon, namesake of the Man United left back, Swans fan. I'm slightly confident, but we're also Swansea, so anything can happen. Yeah, we're also Blackburn Rovers, Brandon, so we know all about
that. Where one Swansea thing is, we've lost twice at Huddersfield this season. We lost 4-1 a few weeks back. And they have, every time I've watched them on telly since, they have been up the, I'm not going to swear, up the terrible to Huddersfield. So if we can concede 4 to Huddersfield, trust me, Blackburn, you've got a good chance to score if we can concede 4 to Huddersfield.
And then Michael, Rhys, you're filling me with confidence goals-wise. And then Ollie, just in response to the Gallagher point, I like Gallagher and he played well against Millwall, but sadly, despite his height, he does not win much in the air. It's a big weak point, isn't it, Ollie? It's he's got all the raw materials to be really good in the air, and for some reason he's not. So, yeah, it's a real shame. So, sorry, go ahead, Rhys.
Oh, no, I was going to say, going not off topic, but the last couple of times we played at Ewood Park, it's always been a bit of a goal fest, hasn't it? I think the last 2 times, 2-2, wasn't it?
I think so, and it was actually my last game watching Rovers, which is now sadly more than a calendar year ago, which is a shame. So,
I remember we had quite a questionable penalty in that one as well.
Oh, yeah, that was Adarabioyo who gave that away, and Danny Graham missed one. It was a bit of a game of everything, really. Rhian Brewster giving it large into the Blackburn end. Don't even know why he did that. He just seemed to just take offence at probably some 6-year-old in the crowd. I don't know what he was doing.
I think it was a potential red card as well for Swansea, Jordan Garrick. yeah, Danny Graham, Swansea legend, missing the penalty, but he did score in that last season actually at the Liberty. So yeah, not much of a legend anymore.
Yeah, I managed to get to both games last season. So I did the midweek away at Swansea, stayed overnight. Very nice place, Swansea, very friendly. So it was a nice stay over.
Well, I'll tell you what, you're staying in the good areas then.
I think, to be fair, it was near the student part, so maybe it wasn't the raw experience that I had.
Yeah, I think I've been to Blackburn once, and it was the 2-2 draw. Not last year; it was the end of the season where our keeper made an absolute howler flapping in the air. I'm trying to think who scored for Blackburn. I can't really remember, but I think McBurney scored for us and Baker Richardson. But that was at the end of the season. Blackburn's a good away day, good view. To be fair, it's just a long trip.
It is a long trip. Well, yeah, very long trip for everyone, isn't it? So there we go. So the predictions are coming in. If you've not got yours in yet, you've got a few minutes before we finish this stream. I think, Alex, you were first today. Alex Isherwood has gone 3-1 Swansea. Ooh, Mark Whittle, tough game tomorrow, but I fancy us to get something going 1-1. Chris Hayes, yet again, optimism turns into fear. I'm really sorry, Chris. I'm sorry. I am sorry. He's gone 3-2 Swansea. Last minute winner from the spot off. Don't. I think
you as well.
There'll be another Casey Palmer style video from Rhys when he's giving it large about Andre Ayew to the Rovers chat site. Take that, Rovers chat.
might have to raid you if that happens. Might have to get
Scotty was a good moment seeing Brewster crying on the halfway line. Ollie James 2-2. Don't know why, but I'm feeling more confident. Lenihan and Kaminsky with injury time and equaliser. Bring it on. Yes, tomorrow is the day, Ollie. Oh, I've been to Swansea for the day. I used to work for DVLA.
DVLA. No, it's just a big building. It's just where they do like cars and stuff like that.
Mohammed 2-1 Rovers. Michael Pearson 3-1 Rovers. No logic to it. There doesn't need to be any logic, Michael. I say to all of you that predict those Rovers wins that you are better men than what I am. So good on you. Scotty, I'm going to go 2-1 for Swansea. You can feel a late winner. Oh, God, don't. Autumn Penkridge 1-0. Come on, Rovers. And then Kevin, can't see a win, but got to be positive. So 2-2. So your prediction, Rhys, what are you going for?
It can go either way. It can be a 1 goal or it could be a high scoring game. I think both teams have been acceptable to both of those this season. What am I going to go for? The thing is, because we had 2 big refereeing decisions, and obviously Warnock saying our manager, his father's had in front of the referees. I'm not sure if you've seen that, but yeah, it was quite funny. But I just think a few refereeing decisions will go against us tomorrow just because we've actually had too much luck. So obviously someone's going to go against. But I think we're going to win. I got a feeling it's going to be a late winner. I think you'll take the lead. I got to be honest. I think you'll take the lead with Harvey Elliott. But I think we're going to. I think we'll win it 2-1, 2 second half goals of Jamalo, and of course that man Andre.
You had our favourite ref on Saturday, didn't you, Gavin Ward? He's got a 0% win ratio with Rovers, which is quite incredible, and he has annoyed us chronic over the last year or so.
I like him after a few of those bloody decisions. I can't believe he didn't give that goal. I'm not sure if you've seen it. The first one, I'm not sure if you've seen it.
It just seemed like a shocking game all round with some of his decisions. I think Middlesbrough had that goal disallowed, didn't they? Which was a bit crazy.
Oh, to be fair, I'm glad he was against Middlesbrough just for the Neil Warnock. It was absolutely brilliant to see him cry. But yeah, what's your prediction then? What are you going for?
Oh, yeah, I've not done mine, have I? So I'm feeling goals in this one. And I do think we're going to ride a little bit of a confidence wave after the Millwall game. I think that's really going to help. But I don't think we've got the quality to get past you tomorrow. But I'm feeling 2-2 as well. My prediction's 2-2. I hope it's not a painful 2-2. Yeah, 2-2. Maybe it'll be like we go 2-1 up and then you peg us back or something like that. I can see that. It's a 2-2. That's what I'm going for. Alexander's come in with a 2-1. Listening to my heart again, 2-1. You did go for your heart on Saturday, Alexander. Good on you. Gilles is continuing his abstination. Good vibes. Good on you, Gilles. Let's see if it works again. Thank you for the kind comments, Michael. Great entertainment again. Chris, we all love a Warnock one. Yes, we do. 𝐂𝐄𝐄𝐈𝐓, why did you remind me of that fraud referee? Yeah, sorry, 𝐂𝐄𝐄𝐈𝐓. And then Kevin, not with the rest we've had recently, anything could happen with how shocking they are in this league. I do think that, I don't know what's happened with the refs just over the last calendar year or so. They really do seem to have, I don't know, something's...
Maybe they're missing the fans on their back. Maybe that's it.
Chris, I once wore... Did I say something, Chris? I once wore a painful toot. I don't know if I've missed something. It could be me being slow. And autumn meant 1-0 Rovers. So there we go. Rhys, thanks ever so much. I think that's a mixed bag there from Rovers. Some predicting a loss, some predicting a draw, some predicting a win. So I think it feels like one of those games where, as you said, it could go either way. It's certainly got that feel to it. And I think had we not won on Saturday, I'd be feeling a lot less confident. I do think there's just going to be a little response from Rovers and can see us maybe pegging you back.
Yeah, it'll be a tough game. I think Watford went to you guys 3 weeks ago and they only won 3-2. So you are capable of scoring against, the bigger teams in the league. So I am a little bit worried. Of course, to remind you viewers, 6 o'clock kickoff. Not a big fan of that at all. 6 o'clock. I don't know why they put it at 6. Maybe it's to make Swansea travel back a little bit sooner. But just put a 7 or 7:45, But I think it's because of the Champions League. But it's a bit stupid. But hopefully we can enjoy the game anyway. And fingers crossed, Swansea can get the 3 points.
Yeah, if ever is Champions League football, it'll be because of that, Rhys, because they don't like stuff. They obviously don't want the bigger game of Swansea Rovers getting in the way of the Champions League. So that's why it is. But yeah, Rhys has said it. Here's another reminder. 6 p.m. kickoff. Loud and clear. 6 p.m. kickoff, UK time. So make sure everyone tunes in for that. We'll be live on the watch along at about 5:30 pre-show and into the watch along. And then I think by the time the game's finished, we're probably looking at like 8 p.m, 8:15 for the post-match show. So that'll be a really, really bizarre one, doing a post-match at about 8 o'clock. But hey ho, we'll do it like that. Just another few reminders for Rovers fans. If you aren't subscribed to our YouTube channel, please hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification to turn on all notifications, and you can see when all of our content is released. And that includes, I've now got a graphic for it, the Mike Sheeran podcast that Andy Watson has done inside the Rovers Academy, episode 4. So Andy will be releasing that one via the Rovers Chat website on Thursday. So turn on all notifications so you can see that. Rhys has got some good background noise. He's been getting kicked out of his own room. That's telling us that you've outstayed your welcome there, Rhys, and I will be shutting up in a moment. Yeah, we'll be back tomorrow. Please do join us. Please remember, 6 p.m. kickoff, and I'll just leave you with the 2 sponsor messages. The first one from Blue Rose Capital. And before I say thank you to Rhys, thank you, mate.
Thank you for having me on, and hopefully see you soon. Hopefully not next season. A few seasons time.
when we're both in the Prem, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully.
So thank you to Rhys, thank you to Blue Rose Capital, and thank you to 6yardsOut.com. See you later, everyone. The Rovers Chat YouTube channel is proudly sponsored by 6yardsOut.com. They've got retro football from every era with mugs, phone cases, and much more. They also have plenty of Rovers goods, including apparel with the famous 94-95 season and this season's kit. Check them out using the link in the description below.